Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I am here today with this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I am going to be working on my gingerbread lighthouse. So I'm going to zoom into where I'm going to be working and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, let me get my timer started here and I will dive in. I'm going to start with my life update. You guys, I'm not quite sure where to start because it's been a lot this last week. I guess last couple of weeks, because after the move, we've been trying to get quite a few things done and nothing seems to have gone smoothly. Some of that is our fault. Some of that is some things we have no control over. But yeah. So first, I forgot to tell you guys, we finally got whatever was wrong with my daughter's car sorted out. So the last time I think I talked to you guys, she had put it back in the shop. They had kept the car over the weekend and they ended up calling her, I think it was the Monday after Thanksgiving, and telling her they thought they had it figured out. She had their rental car while they were fixing it. Whatever was wrong with it, they ended up replacing a part. So I don't know, it was a part we'd actually already replaced once. So I don't know if she somehow ended up with a defective new part or what, but they spent a good 4 hours trying to track down the issue and finally figured out what it was and replaced that part. And they were super nice about it. They only charged us for the part. They didn't charge us for any of the labor for the hours they spent trying to track down what actually was the problem. So that was nice. So it cost us a little more than we anticipated, but at least it is now fixed. And when she left and drove home, it did not come back on. It has not come back on over the last week or so. So fingers crossed that that actually was the issue and nothing else goes wrong. So that's all sorted finally. And speaking of sorted out, my husband and I woke up earlier this week and the bedroom we were in was freezing, like 15 degrees Celsius freezing. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but trust me, it's super cold and way too cold for me to sleep. My husband was fine. And we were fine underneath the covers, but just waking up, that's actually what woke me up that morning. I had my arm outside of the covers and it was freezing. So we called the landlord and they thought the baseboard heater had stopped working because my husband had checked it and it was stone cold. So she sent a repairman out to fix it. They replaced the baseboard heater and it still wouldn't work. So then they decided it was the thermostat. So they put the old baseboard heater back in so they could take the new one that they had purchased back to the store. And they came out the next day with an electrician and fixed the thermostat. Everything has been going fine since then. So knock on wood that all got fixed and taken care of. Because if it's not one thing, it's another, right? So that's all done and sorted. What else have we been doing this week? Well, we needed to go get our driver's license. And we also have been trying to get our car registered here in the province. So my husband has made multiple trips to the DMV. He had an endorsement that wouldn't show up for whatever reason. And I told him, I said, you need to call that person back because they never called you back to see about it. Well, he also needed to go in about our car because we've been trying to get our car registered. And let me tell you, that has been a saga and a half. So we imported our car and our trailer. We exported it from the US, which apparently Canada doesn't care about, but the US does, so whatever. We did that. Then you have to do some kind of online thing to put your car in the system to be imported into Canada, which we had done for the car, but not for the trailer because we understood the trailer was exempt. Turned out it's not. That's a whole nother story. Then after we get here, we have to take the car to be inspected to make sure that it meets all of Canada's safety requirements and such. We did that. It did. We got our little stamp. He goes in to get it changed. At the same time he was doing his driver's license, his name was not on the tax exempt paperwork. So they told us we had to go back to the border. Okay. So my husband called around to see if we really needed to do all that. Turns out, yeah, we had to go do that. So we ended up taking an all-day drive back to the border station where we crossed to ask them, we need to get this changed. Oh, sure, we'll do an amended thing, no problem. We were there maybe 20 minutes. They fixed everything, told us what we needed to do, and we left and spent the rest of the day driving home. So my husband goes in to get that done. Well, yes, that all works. That's now all in his name, but he's missing some stamp from the inspection place. They were supposed to stamp it in 2 places and they only stamped it in 1. So we go back to that place. It's lunchtime. The people there who do the stamping are not in. So we go to lunch, come back, get the stamp, no problem. They're sorry. They should have stamped it the first time. Don't know why they didn't. So then my husband goes back to the DMV and spends another 2 hours. However, this time, success. He got someone who seemed to understand that this was something she was going to need assistance with. So he told her about everything, all the stuff that we had done, all the stuff they told us they needed to change the first time, everything that he had. And he even told her about the issue with his driver's license. And she's like, okay, let me write this all down, because basically she was going to have all of her questions ready to go so that when she finally got a hold of somebody at their internal help desk, she could ask them all the questions and be done. So he spent 2 hours in there with her on the phone with their help desk going through, did he have this? Yes. Did he have that? Yes. Okay, we have to do this. Okay, we have to do that. And success. He managed to get the car registered, got our plate for the province, and we're good to go for the car. She also asked about the issue with his driver's license. They don't know why it was having a problem, if there was some glitch in the system or something else, but she was able to correct it so that he has all of his certifications and endorsements on there now, so he's good to go to start work whenever he wants with his correct driver's license information. So that's good. He also, while he was there, thought he would press his luck and see if he could register our trailer, because we understood that it was exempt from all the importation rules and everything, because it is not a self-propelled vehicle. It's just a trailer that you tow behind. Neither one of us can figure out where we saw that information because we can't find it. And to add insult to injury, after we had traveled all the way to the border to get the paperwork redone and everything for the car, we realized there is a border agency office in the same town as the DMV. So he went there while my son and I were getting our driver's licenses changed. The guy wasn't there, had to wait for him to come back, and he called my husband. My husband was explaining all the issues to him, and he's like, why did you drive all the way to the border? You could have just come here, and he could have done everything. I was like, well, that's good to know. Guess we know for next time. So hubby was explaining to him the issue with the trailer, and he's like, well, yes, he can fill out the paperwork, but because we haven't done the online import stuff, because it is not exempt from that, he can't do that until we have all of that, which means we get to pay another like $400 to do the little online registration thing. And then we have to wait, I think it said 24 hours for it to go through the system. And then we have a little page that we have to print out and take with us back to the border agency guy. And then he will fill out all the paperwork that we need so that we can then register the trailer. So fingers crossed that that's true and it's all good. And my husband was saying while he was there talking to the lady at the DMV and explaining to her all the things that we've had to do, and she's like, why don't you just sell it? And he's like, we can't. We can't sell it in Canada because we can't get it registered because you guys won't register it. And she's like, well, take it back across the border and sell it in the States. And we're like, we can't do that either because we've already exported it from the States. So we'd have to import it back into the States, which we can't do because you won't register it. I mean, hubby and I had gone round and round with, did we have any other options? And we just had to see it through. So thankfully, we finally got everything figured out. It now has the provincial plate on the car, so we are good to go for the car. Like I said, we're still waiting on stuff for the trailer, but at least we have a better handle on what we need to do for the trailer, having gone through this process once already with the car, and now knowing that there is a border services office in town that we could go to rather than driving 4 hours back to the border or 6 hours or whatever it took us. I mean, hubby was kind of like, well, if we got to take another trip, that was the other thing, because if we had to go back to the border, we didn't know if we had to take the trailer with us. Also, that means the trailer has to be inspected again, like we had to have the car inspected. And we're like, what is there to inspect? But I guess they were looking at like safety lights and stuff, so shouldn't be an issue. I mean, it's a new trailer. We haven't done anything to it other than purchase it and then drive it across the country. So hopefully that will all go much smoother than the car, and then we will get a tag for it and registration for it, and it will be done. In the meantime, hubby and I have been transitioning some of our money from the US across the border. That has been an interesting process as well. Still not quite sure how we're going to accomplish it for the money for the house, but for now, that's been another factor that's been a complication because none of us are currently working. And hubby doesn't intend to go back to work until after the first of the year, which I guess has been a good thing with all the driving around and everything that we've had to do. So anyway, I think we're close to being done. The car is finished. Hubby has his driver's license finished and corrected. We won't have our permanent licenses until after everything is resolved with the mail, and I imagine it will take them several weeks to get things caught back up since there's a backlog. So I don't know how soon we'll get anything, but we'll see. The youngest and I went in to get our driver's licenses changed, and it actually was a pretty simple process. We knew what we needed because my hubby had had his done. So we got everything together. We went, we got it done. And as we're driving home, my son realizes, because here they do it differently. In the States, everything is month, day, year. Here it is year, month, day. And we realized looking at his license that she had entered his birth date year, day, month instead of month, day. So it was wrong. So we had to go back to the office and we spent another 45 minutes waiting for them to fix the mistake. Luckily, he was the only one that had the issue. Otherwise, we probably would have been there longer if I'd had to get mine fixed. Thankfully, they did mine correctly. And we did learn that we do not have to go back in after 30 days because this was Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there. The postal strike at that day when we had it done was still ongoing. So they're like, yeah, you don't have to come back in 30 days. They'll just use your license and the police will know that, yes, it's the 30-day temporary one, but we're waiting until you won't have your permanent one until the postal strike. And I was like, I don't understand why they didn't do that a month ago, but whatever. Again, no one asked me because all she did was give me like a letter that she's like, keep this with your license. And it's like just a photocopy. So it's not like it's it is an official letter. It's signed by like, I don't know, the Minister of Transportation or whatever they're called here, the director of the DMV. But it's just like a photocopy. So I was like, why not just do this at the beginning? That would have seemed to make it simpler instead of making people come back in and renew your license in 30 days and make everybody, including the people who work at the DMV, frustrated because they're doing all this work that's unnecessary. Anyway, again, no one asked me. The point is, we are now all done and official. We all have our driver's licenses. We do have to drop copies of them by our insurance agent for the car insurance because we had a deadline to get them changed because we're using our driving history, our driving records from the States to get better insurance rates. So we only had so many days to get that done. But it is now finished. So the next steps after all of that are to get insurance on the trailer, get the registration on the trailer, and hubby and I are looking at purchasing a second car because once hubby goes back to work, that will leave the youngest and I with no transportation. And we had talked about bringing our second car from the States, but it was a very low to the ground sports car. It would not have handled all the roads, potholes, snow, etc. that we experience here. So we opted to sell it in the States and just get something else when we were here. Hubby is currently out looking at different vehicles. We're just going to get a used little one for the youngest and I to kind of putter around in, nice enough that it will run, keep us warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and be enough to like run, get groceries, run errands around town, that sort of thing. Don't know what we're going to end up with, but we'll see. So he's out doing that. I am still trying to adjust to life here. I think getting our driver's licenses changed felt like a big step. So I'm feeling a little more settled. Okay guys, sorry, I don't remember what I was talking about. My husband showed up with a car for me to look at, so... Okay, I think I finished with all the stuff is broken identification sagas. So, what do I want to talk about next? What else do we have going on? Oh, it's been super cold here. It is super cold today and windy. And I finally went and found a Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion chart for me because I can't keep track. Like, I know that 0 degrees Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit. I know they meet at -40. -40 Celsius is -40 Fahrenheit. However, everything in between weather related is confusing. I still haven't wrapped my head around it. There's just so many things. Like, I can buy a gallon of milk at the store, but gas is sold in liters. Yeah, it's just getting used to everything. So I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. But for now, I printed out myself a little cheat sheet, which my son was like, why don't you just put it on your phone, Mom? Your phone will translate it for you. And I'm like, I could, but I don't really look at my phone for the weather. I don't need an app. I want to look outside. And anyway, yeah. Oh, speaking of looking outside, hubby and I were out driving around. I don't remember what we were doing. I don't know if we were out running errands or we were out looking at cars, whatever we were doing. We drove back into the little housing development where we're renting, and there's like a little pond area, and there was a bald eagle sitting on the ice, just chillaxing. I've never seen one up close and personal before. They do not inhabit Kansas, not the area for them because there's no water. I've seen some in captivity, but never up close out in the wild. So it was pretty cool. We had seen one when we drove to the border. Hubby had pointed one out, but it was flying. So it was pretty cool to see this one just really up close to the side of the car, just kind of sitting there on the ice. We also saw another boat, another big boat, ship. I don't know, when do they turn from being a boat to a ship? Is there a difference? Because I thought ship was bigger than boat, but I don't know all the maritime terms, nautical terms. Anyway, there was another big ship, like a big barge type or something type ship. Almost looks square, like it has a big square tower on one end, and then it looks flat, like it would have cargo on it, and then a little kind of raised platform on the other end. We saw one of those parked out in the water offshore again, so that was pretty cool. Gotta say, I'm enjoying how this one is going so far. Still haven't seen a moose. I told my husband, I think it's just a joke that Canadians play on people that moose actually exist. Now, in the area where we are, the province on a lot of the highways has a moose fence, so it makes sense that we don't see a lot of them because of that. And believe me, I don't want to meet one on the road, but I've never actually seen one. We saw a baby one once crossing the road, but I missed the mom. If the mom was with the baby, I don't even know if that's true. I'm trying to find the right color here. I just started this kit, so I'm like, where is this color? Where is this symbol? Anyway, even though I haven't seen a moose yet, it was super cool to see the bald eagles. I'll take that. Also, I get to watch the seagulls play in the mornings when the tide's coming in and out and they're trying to find food, so that's been fun as well. Not something I got to see a lot when I was at home, or ever. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to tell you guys about my regular life. Again, we're just trying to get settled in here. I was trying to put together a Christmas list. I'm just going to be basically sending money back home for the people at home. Have my sister pick up gifts, and the adults are just going to exchange gift cards. I had already bought my nephew's gift. We'd already given my daughter her gift. So now it's figuring out what we need to get as gifts for people here. So we have my husband's family to buy for, which a couple of his family members are going to be pretty easy. We're just buying them some alcohol. My husband tried to get his mother some alcohol when we made our trip down to the border. Well, it was when we crossed the border. It was when we went to Bangor. We stopped at the duty-free store on our way back across the border back into Canada, and they were out of whatever it is that his mother drinks, so he wasn't able to get any, which for me, she wanted us to pick it up there because it's way less expensive, but that's why I couldn't find this one. It's an AB. It's a lot less expensive, of course, to buy it at the duty-free store, but we don't buy alcohol on a regular basis. None of us drink, really. His mom and his brother are big wine drinkers. They have wine every night. I don't know if that's a Canadian thing. His sister doesn't drink, and neither does her husband, but his mom has always had a glass of wine with dinner since I've known her. So anyway, so we're probably buying both of them liquor. And then for the other family members, he's thinking scratch tickets, lottery tickets, maybe a gift card to a restaurant. I hate giving gift cards. I mean, I personally don't mind getting gift cards, but I don't know. It just feels like you just gave them money rather than spending the time thinking about a gift, even if it's something they like. Does that make sense? Are you a big gift card giver? Would you prefer to get a gift card so you can get what you want? Or would you rather get money so you can spend it on what you want if it's not at the store? Or would you prefer to get a gift someone actually spent time picking out? I guess that depends on how good the gift giver is, though, right? Somebody might spend time picking out a gift and get you something that just isn't you. Okay, I need to move this around a little bit because I've finished this little section and I still have my diamond painting life to talk about, which probably won't take very long, but I'm going to move over to this section over here. So let me do that real quick. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm not going to do this whole section, but I'm going to do a little bit of it. I decided I was going to start in the bottom left corner and then work this way. That way I'm hopefully not laying my arm on things as I go. I usually do it this way, but I think the last time when I started, I did it differently. I don't know. With conversation, I think I did it differently, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I did do it the same way. Also, I finished conversation. That's one of the things I need to mention for my diamond painting life. I finished that. If you didn't see the video of that, go check it out. It was yesterday's video. Also, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. I'm super close to 13K, so I'm getting excited about that. Okay, so I finished conversation, which I'm happy about. So that should mean I only need to finish 2 more things. So if I can finish this one before the end of the month, that's a maybe. And I was also going to say that I can include my temperature blanket kit that I'm doing from Craft Pack Canada, but I got to wait to see what the temperature is on the last day of December. I guess I could do everything up to that last day and then finish it. And then that would finish my last 2 kits to meet that finish goal for myself. But maybe I'll just spend a lot of time working on this one and then I'll try to finish something small. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this. I'm going to give it that old college try, but we'll see. This is quite a bit of confetti. I think more so than the conversation, which just makes it go slower. I enjoy the confetti, but it just does make it go slower. So we'll see if I can manage to finish this one before the end of the year. I keep thinking, I think it's because I think in the back of my head I need to finish it before the end of before Christmas, but I don't need to finish it before Christmas. December doesn't end Christmas, right? So I still have some days after that. And Christmas is going to be pretty low-key for us this year. We're going over to my in-laws for, I think, both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'm trying to figure out they're all so used to getting together. You know, certain person brings desserts, somebody's cooking, somebody else is bringing like snacks. Like, but what do we need to bring? And I know they'll just tell me nothing, but it feels weird showing up empty-handed. I guess we'll have gifts and stuff. So we'll see how that goes, because that'll be a bit weird going over there both days. In my family, we always did Christmas Eve with all the kind of extended family. So aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, everybody got together on Christmas Eve. That way on Christmas Day, it could just be immediate family. Also, it just made it a little bit easier so you didn't have to pack up all the kids' gifts and everything. Not that we still didn't have to do that on Christmas Eve. Gosh, I can remember when my folks were still alive, taking my kids over there. And I mean, I think it's just the way when you're grandparents. Also probably has something to do with when by the time you're a grandparent, you're just more settled in your life. You've got more money, that sort of thing. But my mom would have more presents in a pile for the grandkids than when she had her own kids. And there were more of us. So at least to begin with, there were more of us. Mom ended up having more grandkids than she had kids, which she was very happy about. All right, what else do I need to tell you about diamond painting related? I keep getting sidetracked. Okay, so finished conversation. I am looking at events for next year. Oh, that's something I wanted to ask you guys. I'm planning on doing DP for pets again in June and DP for veterans again in November. So put those on your calendar. However, I'm debating whether I want to change some of the rules. I like requiring a finish because I like having the montage, but is that difficult for people? My thought was to make it so that the kits had to be a little bit larger than 30 by 30, but I feel like if I do that, then asking for a finish is maybe not the thing to do, because some people just don't have enough spare time to finish a big project. And I thought about doing like some of the other events I've seen do, where you just complete a certain size of section, whether the kit gets finished or not. And I could do that too, but again, I feel like having the little video montage. So leave me a comment. Should I just leave everything the same? Because I need to fill out the form for Kay's Facebook group so that I can get the events on her calendar list, whatever thing. And I want to do that, but if I change the rules, I don't want to do that to people, put it out there. I'm going to do it one way and then change the rules before I actually hold the event. So leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. Do you enjoy the finish montage videos? Would you rather not have to finish something? Is that easier? I mean, I'd like for more people to participate. I don't know if that's what holds people back, that it has to have a finish. So yeah, leave me your thoughts. Anyway, I'm trying to get ready for that for next year. And I'm trying to look at events to see what I want to do, because I would like to plan some of my kits around events, because it just gives me that little extra push to get some things done. Like, I know there's usually a mermaid event and I have a mermaid kit for that. I know there's probably a Dakota Detweiler event, or at least there has been the last couple of years. I definitely have a kit I could do for that. If there's still going to be a Muka event next year, I guess I could do Muka for either the Muka event or Summer with the Masters, if either one of those are going on next year. I haven't looked to see what's going on, so, but I do want to, that's why I haven't shared my goals for next year yet, because I want to get all the events and everything that I might want to participate in and kind of get a list going of what kits I want to complete, just so I have an idea of what I'm doing. Somebody mentioned in a comment that they like shopping through their stash, and I thought, oh, that's such a great way to put it, because I have so many older kits that have just kind of been sitting on the shelf, that kind of going back through them. Sometimes it happens that after you've had something a while, you're like, nah, I don't really want to do that one. But then sometimes you hold on to it long enough that you come back around and you're like, you know what? I really do want to do that one. Shopping through my stash seemed like a great way to put it. So anyway, so once I get my goals kind of lined out and figure out events and kits and stuff, then I will share my goals for next year. And a lot of you commented that you don't set goals for yourself, and that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know some people, if they set a goal and don't make it, it's mentally challenging for them. I don't set a lot of goals in my regular life for that reason, but I feel like for my diamond painting, it keeps me on track, especially with the channel, for me to have some kind of goal. If nothing else, it gives me some stuff to talk about, right? I did this, I didn't manage that. I did get my Diamond Art Club kits that I ordered. They actually got here way faster. Kind of funnily, they actually got here in Canada faster than they got to me, which seems crazy because it was my understanding they all ship out of Texas. So Texas to Kansas seems like it should take way less time than Texas to Canada, but I guess. Also, I had 2 orders and they combined it into 1 shipment. So, I mean, I wasn't paying for shipping either way, so it didn't matter to me, but I'm sure it probably saved them some money. So what kits did I get? Because everyone wants to know. And again, I didn't get anything that was new releases. I mean, they were all new releases once upon a time, but these weren't anything that was like a Black Friday or Cyber Monday new release. So I got, and I'll throw pictures of them over there so you guys can see. So I got one by, oh, and her name just flew out of my head, Puffy Gator or something like that, called Blue Girl, which is this cute little like lion. I've actually, I think I saw that one originally at Distracted by Diamonds, and for whatever reason I just ended up not getting it from her, and I saw it at Diamond Art Club and I was like, oh, that one looks like fun. It is a round. I got a kit for Pride next year because that's something I want to try and do, and it's a fairly small kit. It is square, but is the Everyone is Welcome Here, and I'll probably frame that one and hang it up. So I have that one to do next year, which Pride is also the same month as DP for Pets, so sometimes I don't always have enough time to work on things, but I figured that one is small enough that it won't take very much time and I should be able to get that one finished no problem, even with DP for Pets going on. So I got that one. And then I got another one because my nephew loves Marvel and the Avengers and all of that. His absolute favorite is Spider-Man, but he loves Marvel and the Avengers. So I got the Bath Time and Bee that is like Baby Groot, because Baby Groot is adorable. So I got that one to make for my nephew. And then I got this other little kit just because I thought this would be a good one. When I ordered it, I had forgotten about my temperature kit, but I don't know if I'll get the temperature kit done anyway. So this one is one that I bought thinking if I got this one finished, then I needed something small to complete my finishes goal. And that is the little kind of chibi Batman. I forget what the name of it is, but it's super cute. And I also got it as a challenge to myself because it's basically black, white, gray, and yellow. And I don't typically do a lot of monochrome kits. I want mine to be more colorful. I don't mind doing like the Everyone is Welcome Here. The background is all black, but the rest of it is all colorful. So I don't mind backgrounds being that, but yeah, typically those monochrome ones are not ones that I want to do. So that'd be a challenge. It's not very big, so hopefully it'll go quick. And that one is square, I think. And then the other square one I got, just because I don't have a lot of this, is Presents Galore. I figured that'll be a good Christmas kit for me to work on next year. I'll probably work on it before Christmas, but I thought it would be a good Christmas kit. And I really don't have any Mickey Mouse kits or anything. And it has Goofy and Pluto in it, who are my 2 faves. So how could I not get that one? So those are the 4 or the 5 that I ordered from Diamond Art Club. And I don't think that I'm going to order anything else before the end of the year. We've got Christmas, and if we're going to be purchasing another vehicle, yeah, I'm probably just not going to be spending any more money on diamond paintings. I'm going to concentrate on finishing up my goals for this year and kind of getting ready for my goals for next year. And we'll see how things go. I am curious about your thoughts for the events for next year. So leave me a comment down below and let me know those. I don't know for sure that I'm going to change anything, but if somebody has a super cool idea in a way that I can accomplish what I want to accomplish that I haven't thought of, then that would be helpful. But I do need to get the events listed with Kay's group so people know that those are going to be coming up next year. I think that's it for me today, guys. You can see I finished this section here and I've got a good start on this one over here. This is basically snow and branches, and I think there's a little bird in here somewhere. So eventually That's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for putting up with all my rambling. I know I went off on so many tangents, so thank you for putting up with that. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.